Now, like many creatives all around the world, I have used Adobe products for a long time. I have paid and used for them when they were on floppy disk, on compact disk, when they were downloadable, when you could use them on a web browser, and on some sort of mobile device. So in 2024 and 2025, I was looking for some sort of alternative because Adobe's pricing I felt got a little high, plus their subscription programs got a little confusing. Now, I'm not your average Adobe user because I only use them for certain projects and certain things. Like when it comes to Lightroom, I don't do mass amounts of pictures. I just edit photos at a single time instead of doing like an entire collection or something like that. So what I need is a little bit different. So I need something that works on a Windows computer and something that works on an Android phone. Those are my first two requirements for that. Now, secondly, I was looking for three things. I was looking for a graphic design program, a photo editing program, and a video editing program. And this is what I ended up picking. Now, for video editing, I was using Adobe Premiere and Adobe Premiere Elements. And as I started doing different things, I felt that I wanted something different. So what I ended up choosing, don't hate me for this, was CapCut. I like CapCut. CapCut gets me a desktop version of it, it gets me a web browser version of it, and it gets me a version of it on my mobile phone. And I'm able to edit videos anywhere, anytime. I love the fact that they have an entire library of music and videos and photos, all kinds of stock stuff you can add in there. The visual effects, the captions, and all these things that they do, I think are absolutely amazing. Now, the next thing I needed was some sort of graphic design program. Now, over the years, I've used Photoshop of every type, the Photoshop Full, the Photoshop Elements, which is smaller, and I ended up using Adobe Express for the longest time for like designing flyers and doing different things like that, and there's nothing wrong with it. But last fall, Canva updated their entire program, and it added so much that just made me want to try it. And I got a month subscription on it for free and tried it and absolutely fell in love with it. And that is my go-to for all of my graphic editing right now. I know a lot of people don't think much of it, you know, that they're saying that it's like beginner stuff or whatever, but I love everything that you're able to do with that. They added a video editing thing last year, a multi-channel video editing thing that I thought was absolutely amazing. Their photo editing is amazing, which I'm going to talk about that in a minute here. But I just really like it all the way around. Again, another one that has a great library of stock stuff that you can use, a whole bunch of templates. And the most important thing that a lot of people don't think about is with Canva is that there are so many add-ons that you can get to do anything you can imagine. So if you want it to do any sort of thing, whether it be lettering or adjust photos or change looks or anything, there are add-ons you can get. Most are free, some are paid, and you can do so much editing with that. And that's why right now Canva is my graphic design program for pretty much everything. And finally, that takes us to photo editing. Now, again, remember I said earlier, I don't do like batch stuff. So I don't go out and take like a wedding, you know, where I have a whole bunch of photos, throw them in there and do that. I do a photo at a time is what I do. Is I want to edit a photo to post somewhere or do something with it. So my need for a photo editor wasn't quite the same as everybody. So a lot of times I would use the Photoshop, not the Photoshop, but the Lightroom, where it was just Lightroom, what they call, let me think what it was called, their Lightroom Pro and Video Editor, and it gave you access to Lightroom on a web browser and on your phone, but you did not get the Lightroom Classic program, which I think is amazing, by the way. You don't get all of that, but I like that, and I tried to find some alternatives for that, and the two closest I came was one called Hypic, Hypic, which is made by the same company that makes CapCut. Think it's amazing. And also, like I said, last fall when Canva updated, I absolutely love their photo editing, and I want to talk about that here in a couple seconds. But I am still sort of with Lightroom. So I decided that some of the things that Lightroom offers, it just does so much better than the other ones. Like, I think it has one of the best noise reduction things. Think when you're doing a landscape and you want to mask off the sky and there are trees involved in that, I think it does incredible when it comes to matching those up and stuff. So I just pay for that Lightroom mobile thing, which I get it Lightroom on the mobile phone and Lightroom on a desktop browser. And it does good enough for what I need. But Canva, with their editing and some of the stuff they have, like they have an add-on app for upscaling that I think is absolutely amazing. And there are some other things that you can get add-ons for that are just incredible, that do a really incredible job. Like they have this softening tool in there that I think it does better than Lightroom. So until I can get, this is the main thing, if I can get a denoiser that I think works well in Canva, I'm still going to be using Lightroom. But when that comes about, I'm going to walk away from Lightroom too. I want to talk about prices about some of these things here. So with Lightroom, you can get the mobile app and the browser version for $5 a month. Simple as that. Some are more expensive. Like I think the high pick is $10.99 a month or $70 a year because you get a discount. And the same with, I think, some of the other programs, you're going to get a little bit of a discount. Like with Canva, I believe, is $15 a month, but if you get it for the year, you can get it for $120 a year, which is what I did. So my basic price breakdown is that I got the annual CapCut for $125. I got the annual Canva for $120, and I pay the $5 a month for the Lightroom photo and video editor Premium, which is web, browser-based and app-based. And I'm kind of happy with that. But like I said, as if Canva ups its game when it comes to photo editing just a touch more, those are the only two that I'm going to need. I would love to have your opinion at the end of this to let me know what you guys think, the programs you use, other ones to try. And trust me, I have tried so many in between all of these. But I just felt a couple of years ago I wanted to walk away from Adobe and some of the things, like their subscription stuff is so complicated as far as I'm concerned, unless you pay for the whole thing, which I don't need a lot of online space. I just needed a couple programs to edit with, and that was it. And those are the ones that I chose. And I hope that this helped you guys, or at least encouraged you to go out and try some new things, because I think there's a lot out there that's really good. So until next time, take care and God bless.
This video is sponsored by immj. For all my print-on-demand creations like t-shirts, mugs, posters, original photos, my book, The Creative Virus, or what gear I use, visit the shops on immj.com or my Amazon, eBay, or Etsy stores.